Hey, okay, we are recording. All right, so this is L. Jermaine Russell here. It's May 27th, 2018, here on the back end of the back end, tail end of the Memorial Day weekend. So it's Sunday, and like what I do every Sunday is I start looking for stocks that are that would be having some type of movement for the upcoming week. So, being that the market is closed on Monday, I still wanted to still follow my routine and taking the time to research some of the stocks that I am looking on for Tuesday. So, with that being said, I wrote an article about supply and demand. I posted it up on LinkedIn. It took me about 2 days to write it, but at the end of the day, what I was it's initially saying is what I'm about to describe to you right now um, uh, with the stock with these stocks. Okay, so um, the very first thing that I look at when it comes to stocks or anything in the stock market is the price. I look at the stock price and see where what it can range in. So 15 cents to $15 is normally the range that I look for. Those are the ones that I usually find the most comfortability with me. Trading, where I can be able to maximize my own reward and gain. Then I look for the volume. I say that volume is definitely a good indicator to see when a stock goes up or when a stock can go down. Usually the less volume there is, the more precipitous the price would be. So the price would fall down a lot more because of the less volume. And then usually in reverse, if there's more volume, that means that the price could potentially go up. And it's not absolute in all cases, but this is usually my general rule of thumb. I stated in the article if the 10-day and 3 month averages are less than the volume that the stock is trading, that means that there is an increase in interest in the stock and that the stock price should uh, initially start going up. So like I said, it's not an absolute, but these are just some rules that I've given myself to really follow, and show you some examples of using these rules on how these some of these stocks have responded. Um, Percent change, I generally go from 5%. No, when it starts at 5%, it lets me know that stock is in play. Doesn't necessarily mean that I would trade it, but it does mean that it is now in play and that it has some type of significance on the day. And my max is 100% just because that there'll be times that if I just put it between 5 and 20%, I would miss out on these bigger runs. And usually the 100% run gains are a stock that probably went from like $1 to $2, or something like that, where you didn't really see it because it was beyond the 20% range. So I do like the 100%, 5% to 100% range to work with. And then shares. I know some people will use like a million shares, but I use 2 million shares as my minimum, and then the 60 million shares as max. And when it says shares, that means float. So on the TD Ameritrade website or platform, it means float. So when you see shares and you're using TD Ameritrade, it does mean the amount, the float that that company is working with, as far as availability of shares. Now, also to keep in mind, because I don't think I really didn't highlight this on the paper, but if you go to Yahoo Finance and you type in whatever company that you're looking for, and you are on the statistics page, and the statistics page will tell you that there's a percentage of short sellers, or it was called short interest. Now, what short sellers do, they generally want to drive the price down. So they're usually buying at a, or buying in or at a higher price and selling at a lower price because they want, it's getting a negative position. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not a short seller like that, but I understand how they work. So I don't want to, kind of give you misinformation when it comes to that. I'm more of a general long position a buyer when it comes to the market, especially now. Uh, so, so those are the four main things that I look at when it comes to the stock, just to see if what will be right and what will be wrong, as far as the stocks that I should or should not play in the upcoming week. And so, or day, because I will do a scan during the day and only buy during certain periods of the day, which, I will get into as well. And so, when I did a scan of these stocks. Well, I did a scan of all of this earlier, and these stocks came up. And when these stocks came up, out of all of them, I did see TSC that came up as well. But I do want to look at a couple more. I think there was some. I don't know why TSC is not popping up on here. But let's look at VTGN. Uh, and I do this as this a screener for me. When I see a red candlestick like this, that means it's not good. So I am not will not be trading that or looking at that. Uh, PRED is definitely a good stock to look at for the upcoming week. But this is just preliminary. I'm not saying that I'm holding on to these or being steadfast on what they are right now. This is too flat, and we're going to get into why. This is going down. It might go up, but this is not a. I'm not convinced. I could be wrong, but I'm not convinced entirely. CYRX. This might be overbought, but I do want to show you what it looks like on the chart. FBIO. No. ARDX. VKTX I do have on there. VIVE. I anticipated trying to trade that, but I'm glad I didn't because it would have went against me. So I'm glad that I left it alone. HGSH. CPST. All right, this is definitely one. Yeah, I have it up here already. BCLI. Yeah, okay. We'll give it a look. Give it a look through. BCLI. Why not? Doesn't hurt to watch. SA. Why not? LTBR. No. DERM. No. ONCS. Possible because it is holding. It is holding above this gap. It is holding above. So, yeah, why not? Let's put this on the watch list. Okay. So now that I've done that, I went through. I saw what the charts were. I saw that the price it fit a lot of my criteria. So the next thing that I went through on my in the article, as you could tell, I talked about the volume. I talked about the float, and this is what the screener looks like on the TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim platform. Um, and this is what I was talking about on Yahoo Finance. You have the 3 month average and the 10-day average. And if you are trading a stock that has a volume that is greater than this, then that is a positive indicator. So that's something that you should probably, pay attention to. And then, of course, there goes the float size and also this is the percentage float. So when the short percentage of the float. So of the float, we see that the float was 15 million. So almost 20% of that float is full of short sellers. So this is something that you would keep in mind that, hey, if you have 20% of the float that's available to short, that's a great percentage. You're going to need a lot of buyers to come in and kind of overtake the short sellers, to push the price to push the price higher. The more the short sellers, no, the more buyers that come into the market on your stock, the more it will squeeze out the short sellers and cause them to cancel out their position, or to close their position, so they won't, they will just cover right there at that point and get out. Some will like to stay in a little bit longer, and some won't. But as I will show you in some of the charts, that's probably not the best thing. So I do mention candlesticks and how candlesticks is very important, and I did put a file for a book that's on my Google Drive, for a book based on candlestick charting. So that might be able to help a little bit more. Support and resistance, very critical. Knowing where you want to buy in and where you want to sell is part of your strategy. It's part of your game plan. So you know where support and resistance are, and all the other indicators are following. This is something that you would definitely want to pay attention to. And then also the time of day. Either at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, if you're not buying in the pre-market, or to 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. And also if you're not buying in the after hours. So those are usually buying or selling in the after hours. So those are usually the time frames that I would look for when I'm looking for a stock. And I say those time frames because normally an overnight hold of a stock has helped me better than buying at the middle of the day, like at, let's say, at 10:30 or 11. I'm not saying that there are not potential gainers during the middle of the day at 1 p.m., but the likelihood of it going against you at some point or another is much higher. So, usually at the beginning or the end of the day is usually something that I look forward to. And then the MACD, RSI, exponential 100 moving average, and the VWAP is the heart and potatoes of everything that I look at. And I'm going to show you some stocks on why I use these, and you will see the example of how efficient it is. And I did post in the video or in the article that TCS, which is the Container Store. This is a stock that I will be looking at in the upcoming week, mainly because it does fit a lot of things in my criteria, and that it has not broken out again, and I'm anticipating another breakout. So that's what you see in this figure, in figure 3, right there. And then also in figure 4 is something that I'll be explaining a little bit more. So let's go to the chart. Let's go back to the chart. And in the chart, we'll go to, since I talked about the Container Store already, in the article, which we see right here, it's over the 100-day moving average. It is holding right here at this 725, 730 area. The only thing I can see it doing is really going up, because the MACD, the buying potential has not ended yet, and it's not overbought. Even though that this does show that it might come, the buying potential might slow down a little bit on the day. I am not fully convinced that it will just yet, but I do keep in mind that there are a high percentage of short sellers available as well. So I am, being reasonable in this analysis. And so companies that I did use in the past, where I used this strategy in the past, is HEAR, HEAR. They make headphones, mainly for like Nintendo and gaming stations and stuff like that. But essentially, when I saw this, I was seeing it right around, probably more around back here, because I was thinking about trading it, and I was like, I'm not sure. It just came from a reverse split, and the reverse split actually kind of helped it get over the 100-day moving average. So when I took all of that into account, I I really thought it was still, as you can see here, it was overbought. It was overbought. It was overbought. It was overbought these days. But once they came out with news, it shot up. And this right here was a great indicator that told me that, hey, this 100-day moving average, if it's trailing the 100-day moving average, that means it has more of a bullish signal. I know some people use 20-day, the 50-day, or the 200-day. For some odd reason, the 100-day exponential has been so much more convenient for me. I'll put up another one as an example. This is one I did not trade recently. I remember trading it probably last year. It was just based off of his stock chart. But as of now, once it closed above that 100-day moving average, let's zoom in. It closed right above this 100-day moving average right here. Right? It was there. It kind of sneaked up a little bit. Closed next day. Right? This is the beginning. This is the end of April. And then from there, it just trailed the 100-day moving average. So right now, if we took it, at 860, 850 or so, it just trailed the 100-day moving average. And as it continued trailing, it went up, and it went from the 8s to 1350. Now this, I know that this is more than 2 weeks, and I generally like only holding for about 2 days. But this is the type of earning potential that you can gain from a stock like this. And if you're looking at it on the day trade, this one is probably a little bit rougher to hold on the day trade, just because of how it operates or how it trades. It really trades in a consolidatory formation. It just like kind of goes sideways, then it might spike up, then it goes sideways, then come down. So this might be a little bit frustrating. But if you trust the technicals, it will definitely work out in your favor. TEUM, I believe that one also, when it spiked above the 100-day moving average, which was right around here, it did go up but came back down. But once it came down, it bounced off the 100-day moving average and then found some more movement. And this is the type of a play that I will be looking for. I have been looking for that dollar. Well, wow, this was actually $2. This is actually a $2 trade. So, a stock like that has that type of movement after it bounces off the 100-day moving average is actually pretty sweet. And I believe I did trade on this, but it was in the 240s, and it was just trading 240 to 230, 243. So I kind of just broke even. It was just like I'm getting out. Let me see. What's another? TNDM. Yeah. So TNDM, also another reverse split. It had a reverse split back here in October, and it's been fighting to get above this 100-day moving average. I normally do not look at stocks once it's below this 100-day moving average. I want to see it close above the 100-day moving average, which it did right over here. So let's catch it where it was at its low. It was at its low at 214, and from 214 it bounced up, and it caught this 100-day moving average right here at the what was that, 350 area. So from there, it just traded sideways, and it traded sideways for some time. This was early March, and from early March, it just gradually increased. And as you can see here, it's overbought. It is extremely overbought. There's no way I'm touching this. If I wasn't in it from back here, there's no way I'm touching this at this point, because there's just too much to lose. There's too much to risk at that point. But it's just to give you a chance to see that, hey, there are stocks that do move on multiple days and can give you a higher potential of your reward without you trading in and out for 5 times in a day or a week. I literally look for making 3 trades a week, maybe 5 trades a week. But 3 trades, I don't want to trade more than that. I feel like if I start making like 20, 30 trades a month, then I'm doing something wrong. And after talking to some traders who will have much more experience than I do in the game, they agree, to not trade as much and to find some level ground with it when it comes to your trading. There was TNDM, I think Q, yeah. So QTNT. Um, Once again, it closed above the 100-day moving average. Once it closed, actually it closed here. This was probably the one. And when it tried closing over here, it kind of had like a fake out breakout type of thing. So that kind of sucks. But it did come back down. But it tried it again, and when it tried again, it actually stayed for a couple of days. It tried sneaking down, and then once it closed and it closed strongly, it started to have this uptrend. So this was a good $2 uptrend. It was, for a couple of days. Say that you probably would have gotten in back here because you saw, hey, the momentum is showing that it's all green and it's not overbought. Um, Maybe that this will be a nice little uptrend. And if you held your money in there, you would have gained another $2 a share. Once it gets here, it's harder for me to buy. All right, there's, I can always see this starting to go against me and really just fall off, and I don't want it to fall off. So, um, let's look at NF. Yeah, so another one, NFEC. I traded this probably like a while ago. Do I have notes on you? Let's see if I have notes. No, I didn't. Probably have it in my notebook. Yeah, so that's one thing of writing this stuff out and typing it out. Definitely writing it out. You do get a sense of that. Hey, I remember this. I just don't remember what prices I got in and out at. But I feel like I know I wasn't in on this spike. I know that for a fact. I probably tried to get in somewhere afterwards, like on the dip back here. I could see me doing this. So courtesy of Tim, buy on the dip, bought on the dip, sell at the resistance, and get a nice 50 cents a share on the trade. But essentially, what happened? It bounced off the 100-day moving average, and each day from there, it just continued to go. This is something that's kind of interesting, and I know I did highlight the VWAP on the minute chart, but let me just go through a couple more. This one, I'm not 100% sure if I would even. I know I just added it. I just added this one to my watch list, but I would really, really need to see this. One is holding this gap, which is good. It's holding this gap. I like that. That's one. But I would really need to see this close above the 100-day moving average. That's the only way I would get in. And here, which now I will make sure I put this on a definite watch. Here it is. It's near it, and I just don't want this happening again, where it sneak out, fake out, breakout kind of thing, and then pull right back. Because that did definitely happen with QTNT. We just talked about that. So, I don't want that happening. However, the MACD is entering strongly into buying momentum, and RSI is not overbought. So these are good indicators, and it's also holding that support at that 145 area. So I'm liking that as well. So it's doing a couple of really, really good things. So these are something that I would really like. SA, this is wow, phenomenal. Did not even know, did not even know, and it's approaching overbought. It hasn't been overbought in its history, so that could actually be a good sign for me if I wanted to get in, because if it pulls back just a little bit, that means it's not going to be overbought, and I could potentially get in at a good price if it's near my resistance and support, or if it's near my support area, if it's near my buy-in price. So this is something that, hey, maybe I'll do a little bit more research on it and see if I would like it. But I would definitely give it a look see. I'll give it a look see. There's nothing wrong with that. So that big indicator of mine of it closing over the 100-day moving average is highly important for me. On the 100-day moving on the 1 minute chart, the 100-day moving average, it actually crossed over the VWAP. And normally, anytime when I see this crossover happens on the day, it normally only means that it's going to go higher or continually be bullish. And right now, it went from 1090 to 1165, and when it crossed, it was at 1127. So from 1127 to 1165, 38 more cents. That's not bad. So we'll see. We'll see if this continues to go on Tuesday. But as of now, it's just something just to watch on. I'm gonna do some more research to see. Um, Here goes another one over the 100-day moving average. BCLI, uh, more than likely a biotech company, cross over the 100-day moving average and it's continued to go up. See, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it tests the fives. I would not be, 520, 520 at the most. Um, wouldn't be surprised if it did that sometime this week. CPST, I remember trading this one. I traded it. I got in at the 120s and sold at the near the. I think this was 170 that I sold it at back here. I haven't gotten into it recently, but I'm just glad to see that it not only did it hold some type of support here at the 130s, but it actually went up 40 cents higher, and it's still above the 100-day moving average. It is an incline. I love inclining stocks, stocks that move on an incline. CVM, this is one that I would, I think I actually bought this one. Yeah, I did. I actually bought this one. Um, Reverse split back here. I'm not saying that the reverse split is anything enticing to the stock price itself, but I know it does have some type of influence. Um, I'm looking to see if it will break some of this support or some of this resistance at 320 and making it more support at 320 and where it can test the 370 area. So it's not overbought, and I bought it in an area where I said, hey, this is something that could possibly just continue trading sideways for a couple of days, or it could come back down. And if it comes down to 310, I bought in at 320. If it comes down to 310, I just get out. I'm not saying that this strategy that I'm using is 100% right all the time. There has been times where I say at least, out of 100% of the time, probably 20% of the time is going against me. It said, nope, we're not doing what we want you to do, and I just cut my loss and get out. Um, the Container Store, like I said, we already talked about that before. Uh, HGSH, I don't know how much I like this just because of the way that it moves. After a big spike, it comes back down. So more than likely, I would not be trading this on on Tuesday, or even having it. Yeah, I probably keep it on my watch list, but the way that it the way that it behaves already is kind of bipolar. Like it spikes and then comes right back down, and then when it after the spike is like right there in the middle. Like I would be mad if I was here holding it overnight. After this type of a spike on the day. So this is even though it does show that it's entering into buying momentum and it's not overbought, it's just a lot more riskier. I watch it, but just more risky. Um, VKTX, same type of deal. It closed over the 100-day moving average. This was strong right here. It's over here now. I think I got in at 535 on this one. I bought this on Friday. Bought in at 535, so I'm up 7 cents a share. That's no problem. It's not overbought, and it is still entering into buying momentum. So we'll see what it does once it gets to the 560s. Anticipating that it does. CARA. This is one stock that I bought some shares on, and I was in on this which I held the next day, knowing that it was going to do something like this. But I sold. Uh, I sold. No, actually, I sold it on this day, not thinking that. Well, I was thinking. I was thinking that it was going to go down. The way that it started off in the morning, it was going down to the 520s, and being that I bought it 2 days prior at 1525, I was not willing to risk it going back down. And I was traveling during the time. I wasn't in front of my laptop, which is something that I really despise. But as we see here, it crossed over the 100-day moving average, the price of the 100-day moving average, cross over the price of the VWAP, and then we just get a higher price right here. So this is something that I consistently find with the stocks that the minute that the VWAP starts crossing below the 100-day moving average, then we're going to have some a good time. And in the reverse, it can do the same thing in the reverse. If a stock is going down and the VWAP is higher than the 100-day moving average price, then it can still go down. It can still go down, and we don't want that. So no, I don't want to be on that side of it. CRX, see the same thing. 100-day moving average crossover, um, crosses over the VWAP, and it is it closed over the 100-day moving average. So this could definitely go some more. I put it on max right now. So this is good. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to. This probably had a reverse split somewhere in there. I'm not seeing it, but yeah, it was at $114 at one point, and you know, I'm not saying that it will do that again, but it's just kind of crazy how it traded that day. So I'll do two more, right? This one, PRED, it's not over the 100-day moving average, and more than likely, I'm anticipating that it might get smacked back down, but it probably couldn't, because I did the same thing with ADOM. I did I buy you? No, I did not buy you. I'm bugging. But this is something that I'm looking at as well. I'm looking at this stock to see if it will, cross over that 100-day moving average. So ADOM and PRED are ones that I'm just testing just to see, what will cause it to move over the 100-day moving average. And I would think that probably PRED might have a higher chance of doing that just because of the float size at being at 8 million. But these is just some things that I wanted to share. Hopefully that you like it or you enjoyed what I said. I'm going to add this to the article because it's not on the article as of yet. I'm going to add this video onto the article because it's not on the article yet, so you can get some explanation, so you can get some visual to what it is that I have type of incorporated into my trading. And until I write about something else, I will continue to look at stocks and see if there's any trends that are going on, looking to see if there are any other sympathy plays that are happening. When I say sympathy plays, I mean that if all wheat stocks are moving, if one wheat stock is moving or the other wheat stock's moving, if one cryptocurrency stock is moving or the other cryptocurrency stock's moving, if one shipping company is moving or all the shipping companies. So similarities within the own industry, see if there's any movement there. So this is just one of many things. I thank you, Tim, for helping me be self-sufficient, so to really be able to critically think on my own. And if you like anything that I wrote, that I said in here, besides the stumbling over certain words or what have you, I'm not saying that I'm a professional at this, but I'm always here willing to learn. So if you have any advice, tips, definitely please feel free to share. And until then, enjoy your holiday weekend. I'm going to study some more. Take care.